excited about the different views.
Yeah. I'm super excited about these different views. This is the second time we've had a break, and
It's been a busy summer.
it has been.
It's been a busy summer.
You moved houses, I moved houses, you created a new human being.
Created life.
Yeah.
Life from a few
What do you think you are?
small pieces of
A
DNA.
God or something?
Man, it's kind of an interesting concept, though.
You're a god?
Man.
Oh,
Guys,
man.
welcome back to Testing Normal. This is
Ooh,
Curtis.
This is Jordan.
It's a podcast where we talk about anything and everything.
That we want to.
That we want.
Woohoo.
Oh, man.
Episode 28.
Yeah.
We get it wrong sometimes. That's why we always question each other.
Mhm.
But
we're feeling
know-
pretty confident with that
so
number right now.
you know what I did do right this time, though?
What was that?
Is it I did not leave my volume on my phone, so we're not going to hear our intro.
Well played, sir.
I know.
Well
I almost kind of
played.
missed it.
Follow.
Like having to rush to figure that out. You know? Ooh.
Dude, it's been a crazy week, man. You have been like nonstop.
It's
with
been a
house
crazy few
projects.
months.
So Jordan, guys, he just purchased a new home and like sealed the deal. Was it last week?
We actually just got the keys Tuesday.
Okay.
So
Well, because today's Sunday, so it's Sunday the new
depends
week.
on if you're like
so-
a Hebrew calendar or whatever.
Right,
Like
if
I
you're-
would count this as day one of the week, I guess.
Yeah.
Most calendars would have it listed as that. So yes, technically last week.
Yeah. So bought a new house. It's a mansion, guys. Just in case you're looking for a place to stay.
Mansion.
Jordan and Haley have a big old house, 6 bedrooms, and it has a whole separate like living quarters downstairs
Yeah, a
too.
little kitchen
pretty cool.
thing but you don't get a stove or.
It's that dope. It looks like a
Anything.
log cabin, like
It does kind of.
basically like a hidden little log cabin in your house.
Yeah, I like it. I feel spoiled. Like my wife and I like came out this morning. I was like, well, I guess we're at a resort again. Like, it's kind of weird.
It's cool.
Yeah, but the thing that we've been talking about is because we have 4 boys and it's pretty crazy. We were in 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, just over 1,000 square feet, and we never have to ask the question: could we do it? Could we make it in a smaller space? Because we did. With many like
Came, you saw, you conquered.
warnings from the neighbors that our kids were peeing in the backyard, to
Mhm.
which I said, I sent them there. They're supposed to be.
Well, and then when the more the frequent the warnings were where they're like, hey, they're pooping in the backyard again.
No, if they would have done that, I would have had an issue with it. But
You know, so that's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up because my children lately have been exploring using the restroom outside.
Yeah.
And the other day, it was so funny.
Wait.
I was
Both of them?
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, this is good.
So
One's a male, one's a female.
yeah,
here,
they're
guys.
they're both younger, under the age of 5,
Yeah.
and or just around that age. And so I was doing some painting in my house, which also I've been doing a ton of projects. That's also been consuming our time. But all of a sudden I hear my wife say, "Curtis, go get the kids." I'm like, "What? What's going on?" So I go look out in the front yard.
Oh, the front yard.
Yeah, the front yard.
Oh, perfect.
We live in a cul-de-sac.
Guys, my
And,
kids did the back.
I look outside, and both of my kids are in the driveway facing out towards the cul-de-sac, completely butt naked.
Oh, yes.
And both of them are in a standing position peeing at the same time.
Oh.
And both of them were trying
Was
to...
it a contest?
They were just like, hey, let's do this.
If
And I
you're
was
going to
like,
commit.
And so
You
I
can
had
make
to
it
like
good.
kind of go over. I don't know what your views on are, kids peeing outside. It's obviously like, it's an innocent
it's
thing.
what we were meant to do.
It's what we're meant to do. It is kind of a weird concept about defecating and urinating in the place you live. So naturally, it actually makes sense to pee away from where you're sleeping.
True.
But they were...
It is kind of weird that we put that stuff in, like,
It is weird.
right near where we sleep.
And eat.
And eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super close, which is...
Yeah, you've got like a bathroom in your kitchen.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, super
I don't
weird.
have that.
So anyways, I had to go explain to him, like, guys, it's okay to go potty outside. It's okay. But we shouldn't do it in front of our house.
Yeah.
And usually you need to use the bathroom if it's
available,
open or if it's available.
You're able to get there on time.
And my daughter was like, I just want to pee like a boy, Dad, standing up. And I said, I get that. That makes sense, don't
Yeah.
it? I do.
My sister went through that phase
It makes
too.
sense. And it's okay to sometimes go potty outside, especially if you're in the woods or if we're hiking or camping, then it's okay to go potty outside. But if we have a house with a bunch of bathrooms, then we should use that because it's less messy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get
It's
the idea.
It's harder to make the argument for boys because
It is hard. It's so easy.
He could go behind the little church in your
Well,
backyard.
and my son really has a tough time with it because we have a trampoline in the backyard, and There's a tree right next to.
Oh yeah.
Tree right next to the
I thought you were
trampoline.
gonna say on the trampoline. Like no.
No.
Party foul. Party foul.
No, party foul.
Yeah.
But he
Okay.
loves to get off the trampoline and go pee on the tree, which makes sense. It's like, it's
Yeah.
just right there. It's right next to me. But we're working through like convenience and whether or not, when's a good time, when's not a good time.
Well, little boys usually wait till the last second.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get this done. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get this. And I'm going.
And I peed my pants.
Yeah, and it's
And all the
happening.
cool kids pee the pants.
Yeah,
All the cool kids.
yeah,
Yeah, so peeing's an interesting thing with kids, man. We're learning.
yeah. So one time at our old house, our kids were out front, and one of my sons, I think he was probably 5 at the time. He wasn't that old. It was like shortly after we moved in. There was this guy coming down the sidewalk, and my wife's like, "Uh-oh, what's gonna happen here? My kid's gonna be safe and all that kind of stuff." He kind of looked sketchy, and as he got closer, my son just whipped it out on the sidewalk and started peeing towards the guy. And she's like, "Oh,
Look what I can do."
It wasn't my son I had to be worried about. It was the
Yeah.
random
Your
stranger
son was the one that was.
that just walked up on a kid that just tried to urinate all over him." It's like, oh my gosh, what do you do with that?
So you know how they say like that phrase, "I'm not scared of what you're going to do. It's that I don't trust other people."
Yeah, exactly.
In that
Yeah.
situation, so
Yeah.
your kid went to town.
Oh yeah, for
Dude,
sure.
speaking of kids, I had a really interesting study that I was reading.
Yeah.
And
Guys, Curtis is like, so like the last few weeks, it's been a lot of my articles. This week, you've been pretty busy too.
we've both been busy.
You've had more time to probably read.
Probably.
I've been
Yeah,
crawling
probably.
around in attics and moving heavy
Right.
stuff. So
Yeah. Dude, super interesting study came out. They studied 55,000
That's a
participants
lot.
in this study. Yeah. And they found out that having kids does make you happier. They
Okay.
did a study about, basically they said, they had these questionnaires and assessed people's, current satisfaction in life and
Right,
different,
right.
qualitative kind of analysis.
yeah.
And they said, but kids make you happier, but only when they move out, according to the new study.
What? Well,
So,
okay.
but here's why.
Is it because they'll eventually move out?
No, here's why. So the study basically suggested that parents are happier than non-parents later in life. So when their children
Oh.
move out and become sources of social enjoyment
Oh yeah.
rather than stress,
You like building friends.
right, rather than stress,
Yeah.
then having those children have companionship and create better quality of life. But in general, the idea of like the joy essentially comes from the idea of not being responsible for them
There's
and not like
a bit of accomplishment too, probably.
Yeah.
I would assume.
pride.
Like
comes
okay,
with
I
that.
did that. Like, well, I mean, let's be real. Like, it's kind of by accident because we screw a lot of things up as parents.
Totally.
But like, yeah, when your kid is like able to do something on your own, you're like, oh, it's like when they're able to wipe themselves for the first time. Well, not well. You're like, okay,
Dude,
we're
yeah.
getting there. We're
Yeah.
getting there.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many milestones with kids there are,
It's how many. It's
and how you
it's
don't
crazy
even recognize
how many you miss with like the second, third, and fourth one.
Like what do you mean miss? Like you don't appreciate
Well, so
them?
like let's take wiping for example.
Yeah,
Okay.
been
So-
there.
so yeah, no. So I've been there too. But we had one that we thought we had trained and we didn't. We missed it.
Okay.
And I think it wasn't me. I think my wife kept finding poop on the toilet seat. I couldn't figure out like
gotcha.
down, not like just on it, but just like like painting.
evenly spread like a cake.
So what
icing on a
he was
cake.
doing was he would wipe, and then to make sure he did a good job, he would drag his butthole across the toilet seat.
Almost
and if
like
there
a
was
dog move,
yeah, if there was a mark, he'd keep
a
going.
Toto move.
Yeah. So we kept coming in and finding. Yeah, we're like, okay, let's retraining.
Can you imagine if he did that on other like surfaces?
Dude,
He's like, how many other surfaces?
I
did
am
you
nearly
test this
certain
on?
he has, like, or did. He doesn't now. We caught it. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh, good thing we caught that before you're an adult.
But like, yeah, like why does the kitchen counter always smell like shit?
Ooh,
What is going on here?
Gross. I don't think it ever got that
What
bad.
is this?
But like the bathroom floor, I wouldn't doubt that. Like, just like
Yeah.
a dog dragging himself.
oh
Yes.
my gosh, that's interesting. Yeah,
Kids come up with the weirdest ideas.
but like I've said this many times before, but I have to say it again. Like when you have a kid, the level of appreciation that you find in recognizing and finding another person going poop is unmatched.
oh yeah,
Like the amount of peace it provides you knowing that your child has been able to poop is incredible.
oh yeah, like yes. Well, like the
Because you have no control over
like you
them
can't
pooping.
leave the hospital until they do it the first time, right?
No, well,
You should know this.
They have I mean, it's meconium basically, but yeah, they have to have some type of excretion.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to give a shout out to my esposa. We just had
You're
a
gonna
little.
go. You don't even need to use that.
We just had a little. There you go. We just had a
But
little.
we have one that just does us.
Oh,
So
I
we
know.
don't have a
I like
guest.
mixing it back and forth.
Well, you went to the whole room.
I know that was an accident.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Just
Jordan's getting all technical with camera views here, guys.
well, you were so excited about him, so I'm helping you. I'm
Thanks, man.
coaching you. This is what's going
Oh,
on.
coaching me? Great.
Yeah, if you need
Anyways,
me if you
shout
need
out
me wipe you
to
later.
my esposa. She powered through, had a beautiful little baby girl this last week.
She's super cute. I got to hold her by accident
Yeah,
last night.
Jordan held her last night when my other daughter broke some glass and almost stepped on it, and Jordan stepped in, and I threw the baby girl at him, and he caught her.
Yeah, I didn't
and
really.
I swooped up
I
the
didn't
other little
move.
girl.
I just all of a sudden had a baby.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, how's it going?
And now I'm holding a
And she
1
slept
week old.
for like 20 minutes with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So
She is.
well done, babe. Love you. Good job.
She
Way to get it
only
done.
jumped during the UFC fights while it was quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got like the opposite response.
Yeah.
Which is
Dude,
appropriate for a
speaking of
third one.
UFC fights, I don't know anybody out there that was listening
Oh my
or watched last night's
gosh.
MMA fights.
They
Daniel
were
Cormier with Stipe Miocic. He's got that immigrant mentality, Stipe Miocic. One of the best heavyweight fights I've seen in
It was
a
really
long
good.
time. And then Nate Diaz versus
the ending was a little bit alarming, but
of which one?
of Cormier.
Oh yeah,
Just like all of a sudden it was like because he had it. I mean, he was piecing
bro.
it together, piecing
Daniel
it together.
Cormier got hit, and that saliva just threw, kind of
Oh, yeah.
shot out of his mouth.
was like
From
a-
no, wait, it was from the liver punch, right?
Yeah. It was liver punch, and then he hit him in the face, and he started drooling.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a combo. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's like fourth round, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
And then shout out to Nate Diaz, beat Anthony Showtime Pettis.
Yep.
Nate Diaz. So when they asked him how come he'd been 3 years off, his answer was he's like, there was no gangsters worth fighting in that time.
Oh my gosh.
And
They
so-
both were pretty punk. Like they're both like,
Oh yeah, they're both pretty hardcore.
yeah.
Yeah.
But those two got checked more than anyone I saw for like something that they were bringing into the ring.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like making sure they were having
Yeah,
any,
they were like looking
something
for
sharp on their
shivs and all that kind of
dude.
stuff.
But I am so pumped about if Nate Diaz fights Jorge Masvidal. That would be
I don't know
amazing.
who that is.
Jorge Masvidal, he
You like shocked.
yeah,
I've
he is legit.
dabbled in UFC since you and I
Yeah,
started.
he's kind of an OG.
Okay.
He's been around for a long time. He has a really good record.
There's a bunch
He
of
just,
old guys now fighting. I can't.
yeah, I
even
mean,
imagine.
it's relative though, right? Old guys means 30 now.
no, but like Cormier's 40,
40. I think he just turned 40.
but like that age. I
And
mean,
then the guy that just fought Paulo Costa.
It's like-
what was his name? Those two like Greek god bodies.
Yeah.
that fought last night.
yeah,
um,
that somehow don't test hot for substances.
Not even
There's no
Picos.
way.
Not even Picos. I don't
To
know how
have
they're
that
not
kind of
testing
muscle mass,
positive.
you've got to be producing your own picograms. Like you're not like ingesting testosterone. Your body is
Okay.
just making it too much.
But I brought this up last night.
yes.
So these two guys that were fighting last night, Paulo Costa and I just had his name. It just came in and out. Oh,
Ruh-roh.
I gotta look it up now. 241. What was his name? I'll find it, guys. Hold on a second. Yoel Romero. There we go.
Oh yeah, Romero.
So these two guys.
What is
putting
it
up-
with people in the UFC? Just to butt in for a second,
Mhm.
that don't like almost none of their names are super normal or easy to pronounce by looking at them. Is that like a
Well,
requirement?
because they're most foreign.
I don't know.
Like there's so many. They're people from all over the world, so they're not like
That's true.
standard English spelling and standard.
It's like most of them. It's like I don't know how to pronounce that many consonants.
I don't know how to make clicking sounds when
Yeah.
I speak, so I can't quite interpret that name.
Anyway, sorry.
But these two gentlemen, I want to if the iPad's working. let me know.
It's coming up now.
I
But
want to just show these people. But Yoel Romero and Paulo Costa are these two guys, and basically they look like you would imagine like the perfect musculature, 0% fat, just like the perfect physique. But I was talking with our buddy Matt last night, and how like this is kind of, these people are performing at superhuman level of activity,
yeah.
physical activity, cardiovascular, strength, skill, agility. These dudes are essentially like the current day
I'm gonna
like
bring up a picture.
heroes
What was the
that
name?
you would have imagined like Achilles would have been, or Hercules would have been, or you know, a lot of historical figures that they would tell stories about.
Right.
It's like, dude, this is a living perfect example of these, you know, historical figures. It's kind of a cool thought to think of, like how those are still probably around, superhumans basically.
Right.
Kind of a
Oh, here I have a
intriguing
picture of him.
thought. You got a cool one?
Yeah, if you go
Okay,
full
let me see.
screen. I think. Well, oh wait, never mind.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be a black screen because I haven't
Okay.
shared it to there yet. We had some technical difficulties with the iPad, so
That's okay.
it should be up now.
All right, let's see.
Yeah. See.
Right. Both of those gentlemen don't look human.
No.
They look superhuman is what they look. They're like essentially like, we find a lot of enjoyment watching X-Men, watching,
Yeah.
you know,
and these are, like, real
Avengers
X-Men.
and all these different unreal characters. Like, these are unreal humans.
Yeah.
Without steroids, somehow. Without steroids.
There's got to. Okay, so they didn't used to test for that kind of stuff, but somehow it's got to be that like that there's something they're taking that they just
that
don't
they
test
can't
for.
test for. I don't know, man. Maybe.
I
Because
don't know.
I would not be surprised if they found a way to use a substance that hasn't been banned yet, maybe.
Right.
But
Yeah.
what would be strange to me is that there's all of these fighters, thousands and thousands of fighters, and only these two guys were the ones that were able to find that substance.
I don't. It's no.
So, I
It's
mean,
just their bodies respond that way. I don't know.
what's the different body types? There's like endomorph, ectomorph.
I don't even know what you're saying right now.
Do we really haven't heard about these different body types?
No. Do we
What?
need to have those guys up there?
Quit
anymore?
playing.
I feel like
Quit
it's
playing.
kind of weird that we're still
You're a
staring at
A little getting a little jealous. Or what?
I'm getting a little
Okay,
jealous. Yeah.
you haven't heard of the different body types? Come on,
I'm sure I have.
different body types. Let
But
me
like, it sounded like you were naming mech warriors or something. Like,
see. Ectomorph. So there's mesomorph. Here we go. Okay, so there's ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. Let's see if you can pull those up. There's a lot of these different like diagrams of people, but so
endomorph.
ectomorph is like super tall, lanky kind of body structure, which is probably what I'm more like, an ectomorph. Mesomorph, which is kind of like your average height but super muscular, and then endomorph, which is usually your more.
And mesomorph.
Mesomorph is kind of like your stronger physique, not quite as tall, and then endomorph is usually like carries a more body habitus, a little bit more weight than other people.
Here I have a picture.
Okay.
It's just drawings. You are definitely ectomorph.
Right. Yeah, I would say I'm probably more.
I think
ectomorph.
I'm endomorph.
It just depends on and it's where your body leans to, like
Yeah.
would go towards. So like Daniel Cormier would be endomorph. Ectomorph would probably be like Nate Diaz, and then mesomorph would be
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe.
I feel like it's just like a skinny guy, and then
wait. Pull
tubbier
up this one.
and tubbier.
Pull up this one. It's
oh
on.
my gosh. Okay.
It's on.
I'll pull it.
It's just down to the. It's just down. So we're looking at pictures, and what we're seeing is the pictures people like describing.
I can't find it.
You can't find it? It's got to be on there.
I don't see that one.
Wait. I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah, you text it to me. What is your body type? Oh, his is funny, guys. Did you text it to me?
Yeah.
Can you take my iPad off the screen?
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, lots of different body types. So, different people respond differently to different types of hormones, steroids, everything like that. But what would you feel about trying out?
Wait, are you sure you did?
I texted it to you.
Yeah, but it took me to like a Google search. You didn't.
Wait. Scroll up. Oh yeah, I don't know why it's not there. Oh, it's not that big a deal,
No, I was just like there was a big fat guy on one side.
dude. But talking about BMI and body weight and all this different stuff,
Yeah.
super interesting. Another study that I found this
Yeah.
week. I kind of have a bunch of different studies and different
Yeah.
random stuff.
That's what we
But-
do, man.
This week, I was reading this study, and they were testing associations between like different household structures
Yeah.
and BMI changes, so like weight differences in especially for obesity among children. So like different housing structures, you know, like whether they have just a mother, whether they have just a dad, whether they have,
Oh, really?
yeah, whether they have, you know, grandparents that are raising them, different things like that.
Right.
And the study found among children between the ages of 5 to 14, children living with a grandmother
Yeah.
typically gained much more weight than children not living
Well, have
with
you
a
seen how
grandmother.
grandmas like
But that just kind of like,
feed them?
isn't that kind of funny? Like that really
it is
reinforces.
really funny, actually.
That reinforces the stereotype of
Yes.
grandmothers. You know, like you should eat a little bit more.
You just
eat a little bit more.
Oh, you need to gain some weight. Put some meat on those bones.
Right, right.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't that funny?
It's really funny, and it's true though. Like, if I just recently, like in between homes, was at my parents', and I didn't really like eat that bad or anything, but I definitely like, I don't know. I feel like I got more sedentary, but
By staying at your family's house, your
Yeah.
parents' house.
and it's not their fault. It's just like because of me. But I don't know.
Well, also you like couldn't do what you would normally do if you had your own home.
This is also very true.
Right.
That life was much different there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like trying to get the other house ready to go and all that kind of stuff, and you know, it just made me have to sit around, or not sit around, but just like eat and not think about it and all that kind of stuff. So, here's an interesting question. Speaking of people and studies and all that kind of stuff, I saw this question and I was like, I have to ask Curtis this question.
Ooh, I'm excited.
What? And this was an Ask Reddit. It's a super fun subreddit for those of you that are on Reddit. If not, come here and listen to your local Reddit news. But the Ask Reddit question was this: what's the biggest red flag when meeting new people?
Man.
It's kind of a tough question, but
Right.
but you know, like there are red flags that go off.
Gosh. I feel like it's kind of situational.
Yeah.
Would you say? Like, I think a red flag, maybe a red flag I don't know if there is a one red flag that's bigger than another.
Really?
Maybe. Like, and I think that's a really interesting question because some people are really quick to judge people.
Right.
Like, you have to earn my trust before I
for
make an opinion
sure.
about you. Like, I'm more guilty of that, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, usually. I mean,
I start at zero trust and work up from there.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Whereas some people are like instantly like, you have to lose my trust rather than gain it, you know?
yeah.
But I think red flags, I mean, there's a ton of red flags, but the biggest red flag,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. What would you say? I have to think about that for a second.
I actually didn't think about my question before I asked it at all.
I mean, if somebody came up to me and like, hey, I like to kill, like they could tell me something really awful. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Well, that's really bad. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to be too careful around you.
I would say like people that really like send up, or people that just like really, really, really only want to talk about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't get a word in edgewise. It's like,
That's annoying.
it's fine. I don't really even want to talk about myself.
But does that mean like
But-
when you say red flag, does that mean something that would cause me not to have trust in that
Yeah.
person?
Maybe I wouldn't have trust in them. I would just be annoyed.
Right. So I mean, is there like red flag? Does that mean trust, or does that mean not liking? Or does that mean annoyed?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess like instinctively something that rubs me wrong maybe would be like if somebody came up to me and they seemed arrogant. If someone
Yeah.
seems that's something that instantly rubs me wrong is when I feel like someone is super like pretentious.
Yeah,
If I get a whiff of pretentiousness,
you're done.
I instantly try to make them maybe make them feel like I don't think they're worth more than what they think they are.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Like if someone comes off with an air of like I'm better than, then I instantly try to downplay what they think they're better at.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess. Is because like I've seen you in situations where someone comes up to you and like immediately shares their opinion on something very, very strong.
Yeah.
It's like, I think this, and
I'll challenge it.
I could, yeah. Well, either you will challenge it, but if you don't know the person, you're not the kind of person
Right.
to just start arguing with them.
Yeah.
You could tell, like, all of a sudden you become way less talkative.
Yeah.
You're like, I am not going to talk to this person anymore. They are not worth
They're
my
not,
effort.
because that level of it feels like just super immature, and I can't relate to that person because they don't
Right.
have an open mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, well, if that's the way they're going to be.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this too, like the way that you test people is like swearing
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Yeah, that
way.
is a way of.
Is like you drop something and see how the person responds. Like
Right.
you want to see their response in the
And
moment.
if they come across like they have a higher ground or become offended by it,
right,
or they
all of a
have
sudden you've harmed them somehow.
right, then I
Yeah.
lose a level of
Yeah.
like this person is not. I don't know if that makes sense. Say trustworthy, but this person
Yeah, it's not necessarily trustworthy. It's just like a
not safe.
yeah.
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 This person isn't safe because they would automatically choose to judge somebody based on a word they said.
Right.
A word they value more than a relationship,
Right.
and
Right.
that's sketchy to me.
Yes.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah. Well, they're not sketchy necessarily like they're going to like hurt your kids. They're just like you don't want to share a part of yourself and be vulnerable with
Right.
them because you feel like, "Oh, they're not being vulnerable with me."
Mhm.
Or they are, and it's in a way that I can't trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's
that's
interesting.
that. But that
Yeah.
all, dude. I feel bad
Everyone's
bringing
like,
this up.
Shoot, does Curtis hate me?
But that comes to Enneagram, right? That just comes to that
Oh,
number
yeah.
8. The number 8s
yeah,
do
it's-
that a
it's
lot.
Your 8, you're testy.
Yeah. They have the challengers, the people
Right.
that. But also, there's pros and cons to that. I've found myself really working on not building walls and not. I feel like being conscious of being careful not to too quickly put somebody in a box,
Right.
which is a natural instinct to do. But so you didn't have a answer to that question yourself?
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like a feeling. Like I don't know. Like I said, I kind of start almost at zero trust. And it's not because I hate people. It's just because I'm just way cautious when it comes to people.
Yeah.
And for them to earn that, I think they need to show me a side of them that they're willing to be. I almost want to see how they react in a playful mood, because then I feel like I can kind of get to know them a little bit. If someone's willing to do something really stupid with me,
Mhm.
like I feel like I can trust them a little bit more.
Well, that's interesting.
because they're willing to like show me a side of themselves and step out and take a risk. I think a lot of guys are like that though, and they don't know it. If you think about it, like guys won't usually like break down walls until they've done something incredibly just moronic with each other
or either something stupid
or goofy.
or something where they pull or they like make fun of the other person. So like the ability to like
I think that kind of
rib
comes
each
after
other,
it, though.
the ability to be able to like some people will say like to be able to fight with each other and to be able to make fun of another person
Yeah.
and to be able to enjoy that is, I feel like, a healthy and a good thing for especially for guys to be able to
Yeah.
do, even though that is viewed in some circles of like, oh, you're being so like,
Yeah, why are you
you're
doing
being
that?
so like what's it called, like chauvinistic, or not chauvinistic,
Right.
but you're like, it's removing the people in some culture. It seems like they've tried to remove this kind of manly macho thing where it's like, well, no, this is kind of good for guys to be able to rib each other. Like we need to be able to make fun and you know poke at each other, and that's a way of, I think, a kind of like a very subtle and subconscious way of like evolutionary changes that we've had through
It's almost like wrestling.
challenging each other. Yeah, wrestling. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, but more in like a social context.
Yeah, and there's at a point where it could go too far, or you don't do it right away, or something like that. But like it also though, some of that comes from sharing those experiences of doing stupid things or trying
Mhm.
something
Yeah,
where
totally.
you're gonna look goofy or
Yeah,
run the risk of.
that's where it's
image.
kind of like, I kind of think about that with kids, raising kids, and when we have these like, all these different expectations of like children not making fun of each other and kind of like, being really careful with being nice and being too, like we get these, helicopter
Everything's
parents.
called bullying.
Yeah,
Not that
everything's called
bullying doesn't
bullying,
happen,
but also at the same time, like you kind of need kids to be able to shoot crap at each other
Yeah.
You know, and like that makes them stronger and it makes them understand and be able to battle back and forth. Like that is kind of a good thing.
There's a really good article I read about that a while back. Have you ever read The Art of Manliness?
No, but I like
it's a really cool blog. And it's like a 4-part, pretty long series about how far, like the distance our kids travel from us, like away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be measured in miles, and now it's measured in feet. Like
no, it's not.
Oh, dude, seriously. It used to be like kids had like a 3 to 6 mile radius that they would be that
like
they were allowed.
Once they left the home, or
no, when they would play away from the house, like
Okay.
as a kid.
Yeah.
They would roam 3 to
that's
6
interesting.
miles, and now it's like 300 feet. And so the lack of interaction from an adult helped them to build the ability to reason with each other and build the social skills where arguing something out happens. And
That's
now,
interesting.
because they're so close, the decisions are always made for them.
Dude, yeah.
And so when they go to, that's where the failure to launch comes from, is they don't have those abilities to do that.
To get out of the home.
And
by
there's
themselves.
obviously there's some spots where parents should step in, but they're also like there's this element of teaching kids that don't listen to strangers. So then there's a lack of respect for other adults, where it used to be that adults could step in and say, hey, no, you don't do that. And it was an adult that maybe they don't even know, but there's a mutual respect because of their place in a community. Like, it's a very interesting article that
It's really interesting.
that goes into like these different areas and how it's done in the name of safety today, but actually the safety hasn't changed hardly at all. In fact, it might even be more safe today.
I think that was on like an NPR, or there was some podcast where I listened to about the safety of kids and kidnappings and all this different levels, and actually there was lower numbers.
In some regards, like how we've taught them to handle strangers has made it almost more dangerous because kids just ignore even the good people.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's interesting. So, I mean, this applies to you more particularly as far as your kids' age. Your kids are the age where they can go. They're old enough to ride their bikes across town at this point. Like, is that something that you and your wife have decided, like, that we're okay if they want to go ride their bikes? You know, do you have a distance that you're gonna be, or do you like feel like your kids have like well, we have a 14-year-old, so he's got a little bit more like movement ability. He still needs to ask permission and stuff because we want to know like where he's at and what his plans are and stuff like that. So he's got kind of a digital leash in that, like a digital leash. Okay, that makes sense.
He has a phone. He kind of keeps it on him and whatnot. And we quasi trust him.
Right.
He's listening to this. So,
but also, I mean, his brain has only been around for 14 years.
Right. Yeah. Obviously.
And
I think that some kids
still
like
growing.
People will be like, oh, they need to be way more free than that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've met your 14-year-old who's free, and they're not doing great things. So let's there's got to be a happy medium here.
Yeah. But I mean, I think about when I was 14, when I was 10, I would ride my bike around town with me and my buddies, and we would be 5 miles away from our house easily, far more than that. And it was amazing. It was such a good experience, and we learned a lot, and we played hard. But I've came to find out, like when I was probably in college, that my mom and then sometimes the other kids' moms would secretly get in their vans because everybody had vans.
And go look for you.
And they would travel like maybe a couple hundred yards behind us and watch, because sometimes they're curious, like, where are these kids going all day long?
When your
and
kid leaves
like
the house with sweatpants and a chain on,
which was pretty cool,
you got to make sure that.
But they would scope us out. They'd be like, dude, where are these kids going? Where are they riding their bikes to? And they would literally just like follow us around sometimes.
I think that the digitalness of things, so like we have security cameras that I haven't set up yet, but I'm going to today. Which I want to talk to you about because I want to get something like that, I think. Cool. Yeah. I'll put some links to the cameras that I use. They are phenomenal. They're made by a company in Seattle, and they're way cheaper. Their whole name of the game was, let's make security cheaper.
I like it.
And I've done a few betas for them and stuff like that, but they're awesome. Like, their main just standard cameras, like $19.99.
When you do something beta for somebody, does that mean you get it at a discounted price?
Usually discount, or sometimes I'll just send it to you. Like, I did a beta for, and I can talk about it now because it's long done, for GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a little mount, and it's come out now. And I did it with my kids and tested it out and mounted a GoPro to like their bike rail, and then on the top, and on a skateboard, and on a unicycle, and all that kind of stuff. And
then do you have to like send them in a review or something?
yeah. So you just fill out a form that they send you every week, and they actually sent me like a GoPro Hero 4.
What?
Like they didn't give it to me, and they didn't give me the mount. I had to send the mount and the camera back. But then as a thank you, when the mount came out, they sent me the mount.
That's
and
dope.
It's awesome, like aluminum mount. It's like a $40 mount if you go buy it in the store.
So do you have to like sign some waiver saying if you don't send these camera and everything back to us, you pay for it?
Yeah, you fill a bunch of stuff out.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but it was really cool. It's cool to deal with the people, and they have a really cool little beta program. Every once in a while they do software and stuff like that too.
So
I haven't done
cool.
any hardware stuff for them in a while, but yeah, I've done a few here and there. I've done some software stuff for a couple different companies.
That's cool. That's crazy.
So
basically, let your kids ride their bikes around town.
Yeah.
And don't be such pansies parents, okay?
Pansy parents.
Don't be such pansy parents, okay? All right, that's good for 'em.
I want to show you this. Okay, so I actually got some of these links. I was super excited to talk about this last week, but then your wife went into labor.
Yeah, right.
And so that happened. It's not it yet.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently I turned my iPad Wi-Fi off.
Dude, well, while you're looking that up, I wanted to just throw a random fact out to you guys.
Do it.
I was looking up some different information on sports and baseball and stuff, and I found a really interesting thing that the average lifespan. So in a baseball game, the number of baseballs. How many baseballs do you think they use in a baseball game? Like on average,
150.
About. Damn it! That was too good job. So they use.
I'm gonna figure like they let it hit the bat one time and it's done.
The average baseball is good for about 6 pitches.
Well, yeah, because I bet by the
Do
time
you know why?
Once it gets hit, they just count it done.
They don't want it to have like any scuff marks on it.
What?
Yeah, if it gets like discolored or scuff marks or different things,
Done.
they don't want it to be used
I guess
because
it could be vision. It could be all kinds of things.
They use it as a safety measure because the in like the I'm trying to see when was it
1930s
or something like
42.
that 40s
43
1920 the Cleveland Indians.
I did so good with 150.
One of this guy they had been using this baseball for like most of the game, and one of the pitcher had like this really crazy like changeup, but the ball had gotten super scuffed up and it gotten kind of yellow from like the chew and spit that they used to put on the ball and all the scuff marks that they couldn't really see, like blended in with the dirt when they threw it. And this guy was leaning in to hit the ball and it hit his head
and it killed him.
Yeah, the baseball player his name was Chapman. And
this is gonna sound really bad, but
Chapman
that would
was
make
his name.
watching baseball way more interesting if there was like
deaths,
bigger, not necessarily deaths. That's why I said it's gonna make it look bad, but it's like major injuries, like full contact baseball.
Here's what would make baseball more interesting. This is insane that they banned steroids from baseball. There's zero reasons why steroids should not be in baseball. Certain sports, like I get the reason of not having steroids in contact sports, like football.
They will literally rip people apart.
Right. Football, MMA, anything where you're intentionally hitting another person, like part of the sport is to hit the other person and cause harm potentially to the other person.
Right.
You should not have steroids involved. But baseball, bro.
You're hitting a ball.
I mean, granted, it's dangerous. The
Do
ball is dangerous.
you think if they all took steroids, they'd have to like make the fields bigger and...
No, because then the guys can jump higher to catch the balls.
Maybe it's like a liability and stuff like that. Like now they're saying like, oh, because you're employed here.
Nah, dude, they just let them juice, man. Let them juice, please. It would make it way more entertaining.
You know what else would make it entertaining? Not 3 million games per team. Like, if there's a respect that I have for the NFL, which there's very, very little.
Right.
It's the fact that there's
only like 20 or 30 games.
No. There's not even that many. There's like 12.
No.
In a year.
Pre and post season?
It's 12 to 16. Well, if you go, just regular season is like 12 to 16 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, but baseball's like, what, 100 or something?
Like in the first day. Like, it's so many. It's so many games, and sometimes they'll play 2 in one day. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
It's
Because they're long games, too.
yeah.
But these guys are usually, other than the pitchers,
They're just sitting there.
they're just standing there.
That's
or
why they
sitting in
all
the
have
bleachers.
guts.
But also what's crazy is how baseball players are some of the highest paid.
That is weird.
That's baffling to me. Because you look in most stadiums, they're not filled up, dude.
yeah.
There's very few people in those stadiums, it seems like, in general, unless it's like a big, series game or something like that.
What's the British version of baseball?
Cricket.
Cricket. Yeah. You
Mhm.
ever watched that?
I've dabbled. Like, I've seen some YouTube videos, but
It's
I've
like
never...
baseball with a kayak oar.
Or it's like baseball with a kayak oar / bowling.
And
Right? Because they have like little sticks and they try to knock them down or
and
something.
kind of like croquet, because they got the poles on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's kinda
Yeah, I
weird.
see that. It's kind of unnecessary. It seems like a sport, but also it's like one of the world's most popular sports outside of the
Yeah,
United
and
States.
it's one where they like get the pitchers or whatever they call it. They're called bowlers, maybe. Maybe they're
I have
pitchers.
no idea.
They like rip their arms apart because of the way the motion is. It like, tears their shoulders.
Right. Well, that happens
Yeah.
to.
So
Baseball
okay, so let me
players,
show
yeah.
you this. This picture that people are about to see.
Ooh, what is this?
This is like think of a skylight put in your kitchen floor. This guy's grandparents found a well when they bought a house and ripped it down to the frame, and found an old well that goes underground, and this is
water.
It's a light. Well, it's a dugout well that goes way down deep, and they made it into this glass floor in their current kitchen when they rebuilt the house and restored it to be like a centerpiece of the old home. You can see the original well that was on the property that
What-
goes underneath.
So they put lights in there.
Yeah, they
too?
put a light so you could see down the well. Let's see if I can find.
That looks. It looks like a green. What we're seeing is like a hole in the middle of the floor.
Now I'm looking for.
Looks like a bunch of green ferns almost, or something like that, in the middle that are lit up.
right. I'm looking. The guy had a link. Now I can't find it.
That's okay.
He had a link to more
That'd be cool.
pictures.
That'd be dope,
Basically,
man.
it goes way down deep.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
Um,
cool. I'd take one in the middle of my house, I guess.
Ooh, here we
I don't
go. I think I found it. I just thought it was. It's a super. Or here, yeah. Pull up the pictures here. This is when they found it.
know. Oh, okay. Oh,
So
so he's done some work then himself.
Yeah, they tore the house down to like nothing, and they found this old spot where the well was.
Was it a water well? I guess
Yeah,
that's what
see,
wells
look-
are, right?
see, look how
Water
deep
well.
it goes.
Well, not all wells. Oh wow.
And so when they put the light in there and everything, the plants started to grow and all
Oh,
that kind of
that's
stuff. And
cool.
so now it's like a centerpiece of the
That's
house
so cool.
in the kitchen.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty sweet, but
That's really cool.
not really news, but it's interesting.
Yeah. That's I'm happy with it. I'm happy with that piece of information.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. So
you can take the pictures down though. Just look like a
there you go.
It's us again.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a shorter episode this week because we kind of are just getting stuff
Yeah.
wrapped up for home projects and babies and life and moving and all that stuff. But in the coming weeks, we're gonna have more stuff kind of hitting you guys with. Do you have any other big things you want to throw at people?
Not like news, but in Oregon, because that's where we're at. I forgot about this. This man, I don't have a picture of it or anything because it doesn't need a picture. He accidentally threw out his life savings. It was like in a shoebox or something like that.
That's not very smart.
No, but it was $23,000.
Ooh.
It was in a shoebox. He tossed it out, and he got it back. Like the recycling center worked with him, and they found the shoebox,
What?
and it almost got completely sorted through and thrown out. And it was, I think he only lost like $300 out of it.
How do you find something like that?
He took it, described it, all that kind of stuff, and they found it and got him his money back. This was in Oregon, and got it back. It was he got it back a few weeks ago. Yeah, and $320 was lost along the way. That was it.
That's not bad.
No.
Also, that poor guy, his entire life savings was $23,000.
Well, I mean, that's,
Well, how old was he? Also,
I don't know, but that's probably like significantly more than a lot of people's though. So
I guess it depends on their age. Like if he was,
Yeah,
30 or something, that could make sense. But if he's
right.
80,
Right.
or 70 or 60. That's rough.
Unless he's been living off of
Unless
it.
he's been living off it for 20
Yeah.
years.
I mean, it is in a shoebox, so I'm going to assume he's fairly old.
I wonder what the compound interest rate is on a shoebox.
On a shoebox? 0. 0%.
Probably like 0.5%.
0% compound.
No, you get pretty high
interest.
yield. It's probably probably similar to like your normal U.S. bank interest rate.
Oh, here was okay. So there's a few things that I'm just remembering.
Yeah.
This guy got a cease and desist from Crocs. I thought of Kyle because Kyle loves Crocs. He got a cease and desist because he jokingly made Croc gloves, and Crocs sent him a cease and desist. Like he wasn't making them to sell to people. He was just making them for
That's
fun.
so annoying.
As like
Crocs would drive you
an
that.
annoying idea.
So they're gloves. It's just gloves.
Doesn't he
basically.
look super excited though? He's like, check out my cease and desist, and he's wearing the gloves that they told him to stop making.
That's
It's
hilarious.
it is kind of weird though in our law. Like someone pointed out, like a lawyer or something there pointed out, like they kind of have to protect their name and brand. They have to send a cease and desist because if they don't, then they could kind of lose some of their patents if they don't like try to enforce anything that they hear about, even if he wasn't going to do anything with it. It's just kind of a thing that they have to do.
That's interesting, dude. How long are patents good for?
I think it's 20 years.
And I wonder if it depends on the the patent is on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me look it up. A U.S. utility patent is generally granted for 20 years.
Yeah.
So a utility patent, which I guess there's different types of patent.
Here's an interesting fact for you. This is all stuff that I had pinned like for last week, and I'd forgotten I had it. Every day, a 40-foot tree takes in, guess how many gallons of water, or gallons of dissolved nutrients from the soil.
Wait, a 40-foot tree? How much nutrients or how much water?
Every day takes in how many gallons of dissolved nutrients from the soil?
40-foot tree. I'm gonna say 40-foot tree. I'm gonna say 80 gallons.
No, that's high. 50 gallons.
But 50 gallons is quite a bit.
It does that, and it raises this mixture to its topmost leaves, converts it into 10 pounds of carbohydrates, and releases about 60 cubic feet of pure oxygen into the air.
Thank you, trees.
One tree every day will do that at 40 feet tall.
That's incredible.
Isn't that insane?
That's a really cool stat. I really like that.
Super, super crazy.
That's really cool.
A quote that, because we watched, my boys and I watched Endgame again. We saw it in the theater, but we watched it again the other night.
Mm-hmm.
And the quote that we've been mulling over, and my sons keep asking me, like, what does that mean? Has to do with time travel, which is, it's a
Okay, what do you got?
topsy-turvy.
Get ready,
topic
guys.
to
Here's a
jump
tongue
into.
twister.
So, in it, Smart Hulk or whatever, Professor Hulk, if you travel to the past,
Okay.
that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future.
I feel like that's just a unnecessarily complicated way of saying that. I
It
feel like
is.
they tried to say. So basically, it's saying if you travel to the past, that becomes your new present, which alters what your previous future would have been.
It doesn't alter it. Like Hulk.
Well, it
is
doesn't
saying,
alter it.
You can't change.
It is what it is.
You can't change what happened. But the reason he said it that way was to make the joke.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit,
Yeah, right.
which is hilarious because they keep changing it. Although in Back to the Future they create alternate timelines, they get stuck other places and everything. But it's true. Like maybe time travel is not what we
That's interesting.
thought. We can't go back and revive, dead relatives and stuff like that. But
Well, yeah.
oh, and
I don't
here's a piece of good news. I should have led with this because this is a really cool thought. This grandmother, and I read the article, but again, it's been like a week and a half since I did, but she basically thwarted a mass shooting because she
Right.
took
I
her
heard about this.
grandson
Yeah, I heard about
to the
this.
hospital after some threats.
Go grandma.
And I'm like, you know what? I was like, this is what we need. Like you could say what you want about gun control, and that's a completely different topic.
Right.
But if you just set a gun in the corner, I've never had one shoot anybody. There always has to be human intervention. And the same is true for preventing it. There needs to be human intervention that goes and talks to these people who are
Totally.
sick, which is a completely different topic than gun control. But everyone goes there because it is a fearful topic, and there's fear on both sides. I get it; it's all fueled by fear.
But that fear is what prevents some people from talking about their
right,
thoughts.
and that's why I like about this article is because
Yeah.
it brings it out of the open and says, "Hey, we can actually do something about this.
Totally.
That everyone could do, regardless of the gun laws that will or won't be
That's so
changed."
cool. I like that. All right, dude. I'm gonna throw out some shower thoughts at you.
Yep. You should go back to our. You know what's really interesting? It's just
Let's see.
super
Snails?
lots of things, but
Yeah.
look at my iPad screen.
Yep.
And look at it up there.
I know that is weird. Different colors.
So iOS 13, folks. I'm on the beta for iOS 13,
Of course you are.
and there is a dark mode now, which everything needs a dark mode because it's fantastic. Look at my YouTube versus yours,
Yeah, that is weird.
and look at my notes versus yours. But it doesn't do the dark mode to the computer. It projects it in light mode, which is interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah. Anyway,
Shower
shower thoughts.
thoughts.
Because
Let's
Curtis has got to
see.
pee.
So, no, actually, I'm doing pretty good.
Are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have a ton of shower thoughts, but we just want to throw some interesting
Dude,
ones
I
out
threw
there.
a ton in.
I have
I apparently had a lot saved.
You have a ton of shower thoughts, yeah. I might have to help you read some of yours.
You should. Because they're all really good, in my humble opinion.
But let's see here. So we'll just start some kind of interesting ones. We've talked a lot about kids and raising people, but for the first 18 years of your life, your body is under warranty essentially. If you get broken, the people who made you have to pay for the repairs.
Yeah.
Like you
Super
basically
true.
you have a warranty for your first 18 years of life. Usually, if you have decent parents.
Yeah. If you don't, then you're paying for that, and or you're not getting fixed.
Right.
When smart kids share random facts, adults tell them how smart and interesting they are. When smart adults share random facts, Curtis,
I love that.
people tell them they're annoying and weird.
Some people.
No, that's why we have this podcast,
other
because we can
people-
share random
Other
dumb
people say
things.
you're cool and I like you.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe that's where your red flags go up.
Maybe.
Do you like my random facts? If you don't, I don't like
you're not
you.
cool. Seattle is a city that's known for having a lot of drug addicted hobos,
It's true.
right?
Super true.
But they're kind of encouraging it because they're also known for its giant needle. It's like, hey, we're a city known for our giant needle.
Yeah.
Drug needle. Boop, boop, boop.
What if for Halloween they dressed it up as a giant drug needle?
That would be terrible,
That'd be a
but hilarious.
huge costume.
A lot of
You're
drama.
making sounds in the microphone.
A lot of drama.
Playing with the spring.
No drama.
Stealing someone's baby and giving it to a stranger you met on the internet sounds horrible, but it's completely normal to do it to your pets.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We wonder why our pets are so crazy.
Right.
They keep stealing my kids.
Well, speaking about internet, the normal internet to us is probably the dark web for Chinese people.
It's so true. Through a VPN.
Right.
Oh. When we are children. Wait. No. I don't want to do that one. If someone in your dream beats you in an argument, then you won the argument.
That's so good. I love that. Also, I cannot wait till the day that we can share dreams with each other.
I know, like
We
Inception.
can link into some type of neural,
Net.
web
Neural
where we're
net.
able to like share dreams and have so much fun. That's so exciting. So saying everyone on Earth pretty much excludes about 6 people.
It's true. Probably more than that, actually.
Depends on how many people
depends
are
how
on
many
the ISS.
people we have up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we are children, we play with imaginary friends. When we are adults, we battle imaginary enemies.
In our head.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's true.
so true.
Okay, this is a shower thought that I literally was at work and I came up with this I was thinking about this.
Ooh, it's original, folks.
When did long hair become in general associated with females and short hair was more commonly associated with males?
I don't know.
When
I
and
think
where
it's
did
just
that
a cultural
happen?
thing too.
But
It's
why?
It's a
When
US
did that
thing. I have
cultural?
no idea.
No, it's not just a U.S. thing. In most societies, outside of maybe some African,
Yeah. That's true.
cultures
Yeah.
where they typically, probably out of just necessity, have shorter hair. In most cultures, not all, but
Yeah.
majority of cultures, women have longer hair and men have short hair.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's like, I mean, you see that
Maybe it's
looking
because
back
men, like,
thousands and thousands of years.
once they get older, like, generally speaking, have a harder time growing hair.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think a lot of females have really hard. That's why a lot of older grandmas cut their hair really short because their hair gets thin and they have a hard time. It looks.
I thought they were just going for the Marge Simpson look.
Well, wait, Marge Simpson has tall hair.
I know,
It's like,
but they
you
like
were way off on that one.
not like tall, but like they do that whole like do up their hair.
Yeah, but isn't that a crazy thought? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. It's weird. And then also, I'm kind of glad we lost this, and also kind of not, because it would be super funny when you go like to traffic court. But judges used to wear those big old wigs.
Well, we know where that came from too.
Where?
Remember? So that was that the whole tradition of wearing wigs started when it's kind of a bunny rabbit trail.
Do it.
But basically, in Europe, a lot of the people that colonized South America
Yeah.
brought back to Europe the syphilis, STD.
Oh.
Before the Europeans had traveled to South America, there was no syphilis cases
Oh, that's
of syphilis.
right. Like
And then
Columbus did. it.
the colonizers, a lot of the Spanish, came back, and Portuguese came back to Europe, and then started spreading the syphilis to all these different countries. And then what happened is, in the later stages of syphilis, you start losing your hair.
Oh.
So the wealthy aristocrats started wearing wigs, and then that became actually a socially popular thing to
wear
start
wigs.
wearing a wig. And then that was passed down eventually to even like the judges and like these people
Weird.
that were seen as higher socioeconomics
it's
started
like a
wearing wigs.
remembrance to the syphilis days.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, like, wigs were all started from an STD that was causing people to lose their hair.
Weird.
Yeah, quite a trip.
See, I don't think that you're weird or at all for sharing this fact with us.
All right, let's see. Any
Okay.
other
Yeah.
juicy Sarah thoughts?
In the 1920s, kids thought 100 years from now, people must have flying cars. But really, a massive worldwide network of data utilizing the processing power of billions of devices, allowing complex communication across the globe, is somehow more impressive.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
a good point. That's a
If you want to see
crazy thought.
something crazy, is like look up like under ocean internet lines, like the trunks for the internet that go under the ocean,
Oh yeah.
and they clean them with boats and stuff.
Yeah.
So weird.
Right.
Starlink will maybe. take care
Starlink
of
was
some
going
of
to
that.
get rid of that, dude.
They're launching 2 more this year.
Are they really?
2 more
Like-
60 satellite packed heavy rockets to throw into space
Really?
for more internets.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't think I have any other ones that are really jumping out at me.
Let's see. Oh, here's one for you. I actually did. This is right towards the end of mine, but people who have perfect attendance at work or school have most likely come to said place sick and ruin the attendance of those around them.
Say that again?
People who have perfect attendance at work and school have most likely come to said place sick and ruined the attendance
yeah.
of those around them.
For sure. For sure.
They're cheating.
Yeah.
That's what's
Or
going
they're
on.
causing other
They're
people to
stacking
have
the deck.
imperfect attendance. I actually did have one last one. It's kind of a zoologist one.
Yeah.
So if all the ants in the world decided to fight humans, which would be an interesting battle, each person would have to fight approximately 1 million ants.
That's insane.
Isn't that a crazy thought? 1 million ants. I wonder
Yeah.
what does 1 million ants look like?
Okay.
I'm going to look that up.
What does 1 million ants look like? Here's one. We could end on this. We could not end on this.
Uh-huh.
But it's interesting because we're now streaming live over the internet.
Uh-huh.
The internet is the only place where people talk endlessly to each other about how much they don't like talking to people.
That's pretty much perfect. That's pretty much perfect.
1 million ants. You think
okay,
you're
let
going to
me
find a
see.
picture of
So
1 million ants?
I'm going to find this. Okay, let me see here. The weight of an individual, an ant specific. So let's say 1 to 5 milligrams, which means that the average ant weight is about 3 milligrams. So you multiply 3 milligrams by a million, that comes to about 3 million milligrams, or 3 kilograms. That's about, whoa, that's a trip. So that's only like 7 pounds. Basically.
7 pounds of ants is a million ants?
Yeah.
What? I wonder how much weight they could lift. A million ants.
Yeah.
Can
So
you
the
imagine-
average human weighs about 137 pounds. So that means in terms of weight, you would need about 62 million ants to equal a human.
Whoa.
So that's cool. That's so cool. So if you say one ant weighs about 3 milligrams,
Yeah.
3 milligrams times a million is about 3 million milligrams, obviously, and or 3 kilograms.
I don't know.
Which
I'm going
is
to check your
3
math
kilograms
on that. Did
by
you carry the
2.2.
0?
No, I carried the 2.
Okay, good.
Carried the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about a baby. It's about a human baby.
That's insane. A million
Isn't that
ants.
so cool? That's so cool. That's a
mi-
crazy thought. That's a
million
great
of them.
shower thought to end on.
Yeah.
Guys, think about that. If you want to
Woohoo!
battle, so that's not that difficult. A
No.
million ants. Basically, you just
It's like
have
I do with a hammer.
You have to kill a baby. You have to kill a
huge magnifying glass.
baby made of ants.
that's so disturbing.
It's so disturbing.
Like okay, just so we're really clear as we
We're
sign
not
off here,
advocating for killing babies.
we are not advocating for killing
But ants,
babies.
you can kill a human-sized.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Baby.
wonder how big of a magnifying glass that would take to kill a million ants all at once.
Well, pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
We'll do the math on that. Curtis will get back to you guys.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. All right, guys.
Sweet.
Welcome back to Testing Normal, episode 28.
We're going to
Goodbye
be back
from
again.
testing
Yeah,
episode number 28.
Welcome, goodbye, something or others.
Good
and
morning, good evening, and good night. And guys, we're
Good
excited for the
afternoon,
future.
good evening, and
Lots
good
of
night.
fun things coming up in the future.
Woohoo! We're going to do some fun things.
Yeah.
It's
Eventually,
gonna
we
be-
keep saying that, but we're going to get to them. We're just life's crazy busy.
It's summertime,
Summertime.
and we're going to talk anyway,
and the
so you guys
living
can
is
listen.
easy.
Woohoo!
All right, guys. Thanks for
All right.
hitting us up. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like, and we'll talk to you later. Love
Peace
y'all.
out.
Peace.